me tell you about a friend. It's Craig LeBlanc where the good times never end. Talking Parks and Rec, it's a show you gotta know. Welcome one and all to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
If somebody asks me, hey, what's your definition of recreation? Well, the textbook definition is simple. Any activity done for enjoyment when one is not working. That's a definition of recreation. That means when things happen, we are essential. It's recreation in everything that anybody does. If you smile, that's recreation.
Yeah,
like simple. So I'm just taking that passion of what we have in our career. Anybody that meets me will tell you, you will have a great time, a great conversation, because this is just a way of life. This is a passion. I just love this career. I really do.
Welcome back to the Daily Parks and Rec Show Leadership Series. Today we're joined by Trevor Welcher, Director of Parks and Recreation for Thomson-McDuffie County, Georgia, a man whose journey from the courts of Delaware State University to the front lines of Parks and Rec is nothing short of inspiring. Raised by educators, molded by leadership, and guided by faith, Trevor shares how life's toughest losses and biggest blessings shaped his mission to serve, to uplift, and to lead with heart. From redefining recreation as essential to building spaces that bring people together, Trevor reminds us that leadership isn't about titles. It's about impact, purpose, and people. Let's dive in.
All right, this is Craig LeBlanc again with the Daily Parks and Rec Show Leadership Series. I've got a special guest from Thomson County, Georgia. It's Trevor Welcher, and got quite a great story, just how he got into Parks and Rec, and a lot of cool stuff to cover. But before we get started, I wanted to play a couple promos. Number one of our sponsors, Palco Lighting, if they've been selling baseball field lights and soccer field lights to the Parks and Rec department for well over a decade, tens of thousands of lights. And so if you have the electricians and the lifts to install your own lights, you can get a 100,000-hour light. And then also we're playing if you'd like to be a strategic partner with the Daily Parks and Rec Show and help us to create content for the industry of Parks and Rec, reach out to me. We're just now starting to sign on strategic partners for the first time since we started this. But I'll play those two, and then we'll be right back and start our conversation with Trevor.
When you invest in our high-performance LED sports arena lights, you're not just upgrading your facilities, you're helping us illuminate the untold stories of parks and recreation communities. Every purchase directly supports the Daily Parks and Rec Show, a media platform on a mission to celebrate the heart and soul of our local parks and programs. From after-school activities to summer leagues, these spaces shape lives, and their stories deserve to be told. Why your support matters. Capturing community impact. Your contribution helps us assemble a talented team of digital artists, storytellers, and filmmakers to create compelling videos, articles, and short films that spotlight how Parks and Rec programs change lives. Sharing untold stories. From a child's first home run to lifelong friendships forged on the court, we'll document these priceless moments and share them with the world. Inspiring the next generation. By highlighting the joy, inclusivity, and opportunities found in our parks, we foster a deeper appreciation for these vital community spaces. Light up arenas, brighten futures. Your choice to install LED sports arena lights isn't just a smart investment in energy efficiency and performance, it's an investment in stories that deserve to be told. Be part of the story. Take action today. Purchase LED sports arena lights and help us shine a spotlight on the heartwarming stories that define our parks and communities. Contact us now to learn more about our products and how your support fuels the Daily Parks and Rec Show. Together, we'll shine a light on the moments that matter most.
Are Are you a vendor, brand, or service provider ready to connect with the heartbeat of local communities? At DPRS Media Co., we tell the stories shaping parks and recreation across America. Through podcasts, live streams, videos, and newsletters, we reach frontline leaders, city directors, and decision makers every single week. From youth sports and facilities to programming and policy, our audience is your audience. Sponsoring or partnering with DPRS Media Co. puts your brand in front of the professionals who build, budget, and buy for their communities. Launching a new product, growing your presence in public spaces, targeting cities, counties, or departments, DPRS is your trusted media partner. Whether you're in software, turf, aquatics, robotics, smart cities, or special events, partnering with DPRS puts your brand in the story. With commercials, interviews, social campaigns, newsletters, and live shows, we're your media team. Partner with us and grow your impact in the $200 billion parks and rec industry. DPRS Media Co. Stories that move parks and rec forward. Your audience is here. Let's meet them.
All right. So the next three shows we're launching are software and Parks and Rec, which software is a big chunk of how Parks and Rec finds those extra efficiency gains, and then also smart cities, software and smart cities. That'll be our second show, and then we're also starting an esports show. Y'all do anything for esports, Trevor?
Not yet, but it's coming. It's coming.
Good. Let me know. We're going to start a league, all for Parks and Rec, where they can play other counties and cities across America. And it's going to be like a Saturday thing. Cause I think I've been told that's the best day to run anything with esports is Saturday, a little after lunch.
Absolutely.
But so why don't you tell us a little bit about, how you got into Parks and Rec, and maybe even who you were as like a grade schooler, high schooler, and then college. Kind of tell us that whole journey.
Well, I appreciate you asking. I appreciate you having me on the show, and I just want to say it's been wonderful watching the other guests. I've seen some of my friends not only across the state but across the country. So this is a great platform, Craig.
Well, thank you. We'll keep it going.
Yeah. So my journey definitely starts in Augusta, Georgia. I was born and raised, the youngest of four boys. My mother and father both were educators in the Richmond County school system. My father was a principal for over 30 years, and my mom was a kindergarten and first grade teacher for over 40 years.
What was he
So
a principal in? Like high school or grade school?
yeah, so he was a principal at every level, every level.
Was he your principal?
Absolutely not.
Oh my God. Oh, he wasn't. Okay.
No. He was assistant principal with my two older brothers while they were in high school, and just to hear the stories of that.
I bet they got no special treatment from him.
No, they did not. They did not. So I graduated from Richmond Academy High School in 2007. Received a basketball scholarship to play at Delaware State University, where I got my bachelor's in sports management and my master's in sports administration. So from there, I received 2 to 3 offers to go overseas to play basketball. I declined all offers to be a part of my daughter's life. My wife and I, we had her when we graduated in May of 2011. My daughter was born in June 2011. So my coach at the time, he said, "You know what, son, you were captain for me for 4 years. I'm gonna bring you back, and I'm gonna, if you want to go to grad school, the option's there." And that's what I did. So I graduated from Delaware State in a year and a half with my
If you don't mind,
master's.
pausing, what does it take to be a captain of that? Was in college or in high school you were captain?
That was high school and college.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
what's the extra responsibilities for being a captain of a basketball team?
Well, you're pretty much just responsible for the team's well-being on and off the court. All leadership aspects and responsibilities rely on you when there is a decision that needs to be made when the coaches aren't around. And even when the coaches are around, they'll say, "Hey, what's the player's decision, or what's the captain's decision?" So it's your job to make sure you're that liaison between the players, managers, trainers, and the coaches. The leadership aspect never ends, and what people need to understand, if they don't already know it, leadership positions, captain positions, are servant positions.
Mhm.
So it's just a collective mindset.
And where did that come from? Did you, I guess your parents raised you like that, or you kind of wanted to be a leader or captain, or so you just got volunteered or what?
I was very outspoken from at a young age, but once again, being the youngest of four boys, you don't get cut any slack.
I bet.
Growing up. So I was told to use my voice, and that's just what my mother and father always instilled in me. You don't speak up, nothing's gonna happen. So I just, became, just a true born leader. But I'm also about, showing and of action, just not of words.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good job, mom and dad, for raising you right then.
Yeah, they did great.
All right, so now you're in college. Tell us about that experience.
It was wonderful. Delaware State University is from Augusta, Georgia, is about 11 and a half hours away. The reason I chose that school, and out of many, I was being recruited by University of Georgia, University of South Carolina, Presbyterian, Wofford, many other Division I schools. But at the time, my brother passed away.
Mm.
07. And he actually passed away on my birthday, excuse me, in 2005.
Oh, man.
And um, that was one thing that, he and I were the closest in age. My oldest brother, we're 13 years apart. My second oldest brother, he passed away in 2020, and
Oh,
we
my
were
goodness.
we were we were 10 years apart, and then my brother that passed in '05, we were 7 years apart. So when that happened, I didn't have, much to really hang on to in the city, or really to just, go to school around this area. I needed to get away to kind of grow up. And Delaware State was perfect. And I don't have any regrets of going to that school. I chose that school for a reason, and it made me the man I am today.
Now, how did you manage academics and sports? Because I know a lot of college athletes, they have a hard time
Mhm.
not letting their grades slip because of the sports.
Well, I'll I'll use this time to tell the absolute truth.
Mhm.
Uh, I talked with my professors a lot. The gift of gab was there, and it still
Mhm.
is. But just communication is key. Those professors, they have to do a job. They have a job to do, regardless whether you're a student athlete or not. There was no special privileges in my major, so communication was very, very important. And that's really all it was. Hey, we're going on a 10-day road trip. Can I get my work early? Or is there anything I need to do prior to me going on this road trip? Or can I do it when I get back? Just keeping those lines of communication was there. And it's always been like that,
Mhm.
from when I was in grade school. I never wanted the coaches to have to, worry about my grades being a reason why I'm not out here playing. And I also
Mhm.
didn't want to leave a bad impression with my parents. They trusted me going to certain schools, and that's just what I wanted to do, and I held that very close to my heart.
Mm. Yeah, because that's something that, if there's a very slim chance you're gonna make it to the pros, even if you're a college D1 player. So
Yeah.
that
My coach used to have this saying, you making it to the NBA is like taking jello and nailing it to the wall. It's just not gonna happen.
right. That was a good coach.
Yeah.
You still stay in touch with your coach today?
I do. I do. We're in a group chat. We are in a group chat. He and the other coaches, and I still keep in touch with a lot of my teammates. So it's
Mm.
it's a wonderful feeling and a wonderful brotherhood to still be a part of today.
So then what got you interested in, or tell me about your journey into Parks and Rec? Did you discover that to something you wanted to do in college or after graduation?
I didn't. And when my wife and I we moved from Delaware, she wanted to move to Augusta. She visited a few times. She's originally from Thailand. She moved to Delaware when she was about 10 or 11. And my late father-in-law was in the military, so that's how we met. And she came home with me one summer after our freshman year and said, I really love this place. So she remembered it and said, hey, well, I want to go back to where you came from. So came back 2 degrees, no work experience whatsoever other than being a grad assistant, on the basketball team, that following year while I was in grad school. So I ended up working as a sports coordinator with the Boys and Girls Club. Now, before I go on this journey, I want you to kind of imagine having a Rubik's Cube in your hand
Mhm.
and just kind of follow, as I give another job, just kind of work the Rubik's Cube. So I worked at the Boys and Girls Club as a sports coordinator. I worked at Aiken Housing Authority as a property manager. Um, I did some AAU coaching. I was a sports program coordinator and team program coordinator with the YMCA. I was in the school system for 2 years as a basketball coach and a physical ed teacher. I was a professor at Payne College for almost 7 years, and I taught health, aerobics, and I taught fundamentals and techniques of activities, which is a an ad hoc class. I became a business manager at University of South Aiken, which is another college down this way in the CSRA. I became an academic advisor at Augusta University. That was my last job before I became a director. Now, all those jobs that I was telling you, hopefully you all were working that Rubik's Cube. That was God. That was God working and guiding me to where I needed to be. To when I received a phone call from my barber, he said, "Hey, I came across a job, and it's more so a career that I think you'll be great in." And he sent it over to me. I went to the shop, talked to him about it. He said, I really think you'll be good. It's a small county, and your vision for just life would be great for this county." And so I prayed about it, talked it over with my family. And then I got with my brother, and he had worked in government before, and was
Mhm.
still working in government at the time within another city. And he said, "Hey, we need to talk about this if you're going to apply." He kind of gave me the rundown on a few things. So I said I would go into this interview. I accepted the interview and said, "Hey, look, let's set up a time so I can interview for this position." And for the first time in my life, I went into that interview not trying to sell what I have done. The resume speak for itself. Once again,
Mhm.
that was God saying, "Hey, look, listen. As a Parks and Recreation director, you will need to be able to speak in public." Well, me being a professor and a public speaker before with those jobs, remember that Rubik's Cube. Hey, that's a criteria. Hey, you're gonna need to be able to operate and manage a budget. Hey, well, you worked at USC Aiken as a business manager, and you oversaw a budget of close to $2 to $3 million, with the athletics department. Hey, that you fit the criteria. You check another box. You're gonna need to work with young student athletes, regardless of age. Me being an academic advisor and working in the Wilson YMCA, so those jobs was God forming me and forming my mind and body and soul for this position. And when I went into that interview, I didn't sell the job. I didn't sell what I've done. I sold myself, and I sold my vision for what I saw in the county. And that's
Mhm.
pretty much how I ended up here. And it's just been a tremendous journey. There's been a lot of ups and downs, but I am, as you see on the screen, is always we never me. I am never just thinking about Trevor. Never. I'm always thinking about, and that what always we never me basically means is always growing, always thinking of a positive mindset, but bringing somebody else along the way as well. So
Mhm.
hopefully I was able to kind of sum that up really really
Yeah,
quick.
man, what a rich life. I'm curious, with you losing close family members that throughout your whole life, what did that do to kinda help mold you as a man?
It does take away from you. You can lose yourself, but I am a firm believer that all things happen for a reason.
Mhm.
Never you never want to lose loved ones. It definitely hurts when you lose loved ones, but at the same time, I have four children of my own,
Mhm.
at some point, they're gonna lose close family members, friends, whatever the case may be. But it's about showing them that you can, continuously move forward in a positive direction and use those losses as fuel to be a better you at the end of the day. And that's really what Parks and Recreation is. If somebody asks me, hey, what's your definition of recreation? Well, the textbook definition is simple: any activity done for enjoyment when one is not working. That's a definition of recreation. But what does that mean? That means when things happen, we are essential. It's recreation in everything that anybody does. If you smile, that's recreation.
Yeah.
Like simple. So I'm just taking that passion of what we have in our career, and I just try to spread it, not just citywide, countywide, but just worldwide. Anybody that meets me will tell you, like, you will have a great time, a great conversation, because this is just a way of life. This is a passion. This
Mm.
just I just love this career. I really do.
Yeah. I can see how you would flourish in this industry. Uh, it seems like you found your home finally.
It's some tough
Um,
it's some tough days now.
Not because it's easy, but it's just fulfilling.
Right.
Um,
Absolutely.
Now what were those first few years in Parks and Rec like? Because now you've got all these life skills that you've, piled up, and now all of a sudden you're in an industry where it seems like it could use everything that you've brought with you to the table.
Well, I will tell you like this. I came in at the end of 2019, in
Mhm.
September 2019, actually 20 days before my birthday. And I would have turned 30 in the September 29th, but I was 29 at the time. And I came in guns a blazing. Hey, I want to do this, I want to do that. I did a 3-month assessment of everything, and just, I was ready to rock and roll. Boom, COVID happens.
Oh,
So so with that happen, it opened my eyes to a lot of things. We had to quickly make some drastic changes for the betterment of the department, and honestly the county. And the first couple years after, the first year or two after that, it was just adjusting to the new wave of, what we have going on, and what is to come, and what the county manager, what the board of commissioners want. And so it's just, it was just adjusting to, new leadership, but also adjusting to what actually had been working,
mm,
prior to me coming in, and just, make sure not we're throwing away everything. No, we're not, but it's just really fine tuning what we have to where now I can truly say, my staff is amazing. The commissioners are amazing. New county manager is amazing. The support we have now is good. We're adapting and adjusting, like everybody else. But at the end of the day, is the morale is great around here.
yeah. Yeah, because really you get to be, gosh, I've heard it explained in so many great ways, but that you're kind of the fun department. You get to care for those who really can't care for themselves, from the elderly to the young kids to those with single parents, and you're kinda in charge of making sure they all have a place in your community.
Yes, yes, and just being available, and being a place where that people can just call home and they want to come and just talk. I have an open door policy, not only with my staff but with the community. And
Yeah,
I give my work cell out, and most directors, hey, wait a minute, why are you giving your? No, they can have it. I this is their county, this is their city. So I want them to feel as comfortable as possible. So if it makes them feel comfortable being able to reach the director at any point in time.
yeah. Have you met Jonathan Penn yet at, Henry County, Georgia?
Yes, I have.
I was about to say, y'all are cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing.
Yeah, it seems like y'all are very similar leaders, leadership style, kinda, similar life. I was about to
Yes.
say, if y'all haven't met, y'all might think y'all are related.
Yes, yes, we
Mhm. Are, okay, so tell me about your first jobs coming in. Did you go straight into the director role?
I did. I
Oh my
did.
good. Your first job in Parks and Rec was as a director?
Yes, yes, it was. What McDuffie County was looking for at the time was someone with previous experience in a lot of areas.
Mhm.
resume, I was able to provide that and
Mhm.
provide them with a professional that was able to adapt to any type of situation. I'm still asked to this day to do numerous of things, and I always respond, I'm a team player. If I don't know how to do it, let's figure it out.
Mhm.
Especially if it's outside the realms of Parks and Recreation, it's okay. We'll figure it out together. So that's pretty much really, what they were just looking for. Somebody that was that had a multitude of skills. And
Mhm.
I would like to say I found my home, and being here 6 years, it's been a wonderful journey. But I think I'm still growing, and I'm
Mhm.
still up for the challenge. We have a lot of projects in the works, and it's been great.
Yeah. And so what are the things that you've learned since you kinda started this job? Any other things that you've had to kinda adapt to or any other skills you had to kinda go get so that you could do your job better?
Patience
Ah,
and and understanding. um a lot of times, community personnel will come to you with issues and concerns, and they have every right to do so because this is where they live. And so a lot of times you have to understand and have the patience to understand where they're coming from and where their frustrations lie. uh Being here 6 years, they may have been promised something 10 to 12 years ago, so that's prior to, definitely, to me coming in. But at the end of the day, it's just having that patience, having that understanding to know that, hey, you are here to help, and you are here to mend the gap between what the true issues and concerns are and solutions.
mm,
So,
yeah. Yeah. Now, is there a part of Parks and Rec that you kinda weren't familiar with? Like, I don't know if it's senior centers or special events or maybe dealing with elected officials. What are some of the
uh,
special areas?
I would probably say aquatics more than anything. If,
Yeah.
if there's
Is that on us? Well, might have lost Trevor for a second. Well, I'll take this opportunity while I figure out what's going on there. I'll play a promotion for our youth sports mastery, and then hopefully we can get Trevor right back.
At DPRS Media Co., we don't just create content, we elevate community through storytelling. Now, we're proud to introduce the newest addition to the family. Welcome to Youth Sports Mastery, the podcast where champions are shaped not just on the field, but in life. Hosted by National Academy of Athletics founder Aaron Locks. Youth Sports Mastery dives deep into how youth sports can empower kids, strengthen communities, and build leaders. From coaching culture to recreation strategy, and from player development to parent impact, every episode brings game-ready insight from the people making it happen. Youth Sports Mastery goes live every Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Only on the Daily Parks and Rec Show, sponsored by National Academy of Athletics and powered by DPRS Media Co. This is where purpose meets play.
All right, we got him back. I don't know
yes,
what happened.
I, I apologize, man. That's one of the things I deal with, multiple phone calls. So,
Oh, that happens. Happens to the best of us. Um, yeah, so you said aquatics. Maybe define aquatics for those that kinda don't understand it coming in as one of those departments that just is kind of a standalone thing.
right. So you have a lot of agencies that host swim tournaments, swim meets, what rather call it, and also splash pads and things of that nature. So those are you're pretty much aquatics, dealing with pools, wave pools, anything of that nature, dealing with water. We don't have that aspect here at McDuffie County, but if there's one area that I would like to learn more about, it would be about aquatics. Different levels of chlorine, cleaning the pool. What's the max capacity depending on the size of a pool and things of that nature. What facilities, amenities do you need to have in your facilities when it comes to having a aquatics facility? So things of that nature. Like I said, I'm a man of many talents, but I am not perfect by and the least. So I think if that's because that's one area I do want to add to a few of our facilities here, or at least one. And so if I'm going to ask to add that, then I need to do my homework and expand my knowledge on aquatics.
Yeah, there really is so many skill sets that a director needs to try to be proficient in. And a lot of these have nothing to do with each other. So it's almost like you've got 10 jobs in one in
Yeah,
one career.
absolutely, absolutely. And it's challenging. It is, but this field is forever growing. And I think
Yeah,
that's the point of most of us wanting to stay in it. I mean, just because of that, it's always something new to learn.
yeah, yeah. So I made this did you see that promotion that we made about why Parks and Rec should be considered an essential service?
Absolutely.
I'd love to get you to comment on that just because I'm really trying hard to give Parks and Rec professionals as much ammunition as possible to reframe the conversation about this is absolutely an essential service. So I'll play this real quick, and I'd love to get your feedback on it.
Okay.
Every career is a choice, but few careers let you touch lives. When we talk about essential services, what comes to mind? Police, firefighters, healthcare. But there's another essential service, often overlooked, yet always present: parks and recreation. Parks and Rec is health. It's the walking trail that lowers blood pressure, the recreation center where seniors fight isolation, the swim lessons that prevent tragedy before it happens. This isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. Parks and Rec is safety. A playground instead of a street corner, a basketball court instead of trouble, a summer camp where every child belongs. It's not just about activity, it's about protection, prevention, and possibility. Parks and Rec is community, the festival that brings neighbors together, the cultural event that teaches respect and diversity, the open space where a city breathes. It builds bridges where division once stood. It gives people a reason to gather, to connect, to care. And Parks and Rec is economics. It strengthens property values. It drives tourism through events and trails. It saves on healthcare costs. Every dollar invested multiplies, feeding back into schools, into safety, into growth. Essential service is not just about survival, it's about thriving. And Parks and Recreation is where thriving begins. In wellness, in equity, in culture, and in joy. Parks and Rec isn't extra, it's essential. For our health, for our safety, for our communities, for our future. A message from the Parks and Recreation community.
All right, so give us your take on why Parks and Rec is an essential service.
It was all in the video. Did you see those smiling faces?
Yes.
See those smiling faces? Now I'm gonna tell you what I also saw with those smiling faces. I saw faces of concern. And what I mean by that is while they're smiling, the faces of concern where if this ever gets taken away from me, what do I do?
Yeah.
See, let's go back to the definition of recreation. Any activity done for enjoyment when one is not working. Well, let's also go back to COVID. We were called, I can, if I talk to a bunch of my colleagues across the state, across the nation, they will all probably say the same thing. They received numerous of phone calls about what to do, where people can go, and just how do we live right now. And we had several Zoom calls statewide just of, hey, let's put together a plan and let's get these out to our community of what they can and can't do based off the CDC guidelines. And it just did something to people to know that, hey, okay, Parks and Rec professionals are now we see some of the things that they're doing. Now, it was scary times, yes, it was, and and God bless everybody for getting through those times, and just knowing that could possibly happen again. Like
Mhm.
Parks and Rec professionals will tell you, that's the reason why you have to consider us essential. And
Mhm.
it's no knock to what anybody does in Parks and Recreation. There are thousands of jobs within Parks and Recreation, but knowing that people are working for issues like and concerns like that, it's no greater feeling. And I just feel as though our career, has to be looked at as very, very much so essential. Dealing
Mhm.
with things like that could shut everything down. I mean, it's scary, but just to know that we're behind the scenes working and have things in place, yeah, we're essential.
Oh, yeah. Maybe you can talk about how the difference between proactive and reactive, that we do have a reactive side of our essential services that deal with crime, that deal with kids just being out on the street. But it's kinda like that whole ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, that if you have a
Absolutely.
healthy Parks and Rec department that has kids engaged with coaches and teammates and families versus kids have been out on the streets for a long time without much to do, without any good guidance, and how Parks and Rec is more of that proactive side. Can you speak any about the proactive nature of Parks and Rec?
Absolutely. Whether it's one kid servicing one kid or a million kids, we have a charge to keep, and that's to always have something going on to where kids have avenue, and not just kids, adults, young adults, seniors have an avenue and a channel to come to. They have somewhere to go to say, hey, look, I know at least the Parks and Recreation has this going on. And we also have to understand that we have to be inviting to the community to where if there's things that we're not doing, come on and tell us. So let's figure out a way to do them. We have to understand that as professionals, we are in a solutionary issue and concern for the community. What I mean
Mm,
by that is we have to always have avenues and have things in place, but also know that, hey, this might need to be fine tuned, or we might need to gain this program, or we might need to grow this program, or we might need to pull in help from another rec department. We might need to pull in help from this business. Like there's always tentacles that are
mhm.
growing, in every different direction. But that's just like life, right? Life throws you things, left and right, up, down, sideways. But it's not about dodging everything, because some things gonna hit you right in the face. But
Mhm.
it's about, how do you grow from that, and how do you learn from your mistakes?
Mm. Now you've done a lot of public speaking in Parks and Rec?
I've done public speaking, not only just with Parks and Rec. I've spoken at a few schools, but just with things in life. Not just centered around just my career, but just with people who want to hear my story. If they're trying to um present, what I've done, in the past, to a group of individuals who are just going through a rough time, just to let them know that, hey, it's okay. You're gonna get through this. And you can be better than you were yesterday.
Mm. And so what are some of the topics that you've, chosen to speak on or that you feel like are important?
The main one, and I'll just stick to one because it relates to everything, is you can go pro in anything.
Mm.
And and I consider you, Craig, a pro at what you do with this podcast. And I know a lot of other casters, I've said that on their platforms as well. Parks and Recreation professionals. They're professionals. You got your NBA, you got your NFL, you got your MLB, Major League Soccer, you got your sports professionals. But who's to say that teacher that's been in that classroom for 45, 50 years isn't a pro at what she does?
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's the main thing. Everybody has an avenue, and everybody has a gift of what they're good at. And they might be great at a lot of things, but you can go pro in anything. It's not just with sports.
Mm. Yeah, what a great message. Really, anything you dedicate your life to and spend a lot of hours around, you're gonna hopefully get better at.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah.
and I take great great pride in being a husband and a father. No, I'm not perfect at all, but at the same time, my kids know I come in every day, every morning. I kiss them goodbye, because this, like I said, this world is unknown. So I don't want them feeling unloved when they leave the house. And it's the same thing when I see them at the end of the day. We sit around, we talk, we laugh, we joke, we cry, and that's just life. And every breath that I take is a blessing. Waking
Yeah.
up is everybody doesn't get that. Wasn't able to get that every morning. So I'm
Now,
not.
now what does your wife think about your career in Parks and Rec?
She actually wants me to be a lawyer. She
Ah,
she said I have never seen anybody that can argue anything, the way you do. But she loves it. She's seen what it has done to my health. She's seen what it has done, just to my life in general. Because at one point in time, I was working 3 or 4 jobs at one time, and I was
mm,
extremely, extremely exhausted. And she just prayed, that God would send me something, that would ease my heart and ease her mind. So, I'm very grateful and blessed that he was able to do so.
yeah. We've been threatening to have like a spouses of Parks and Rec show. Get their take on it.
Yeah, that would be funny. That I would
That
love to
would be a
see
good show.
the phone
Um,
call that she wakes up hearing in the middle of the night. It's nonstop.
yeah. Maybe we'll call her and see if she wants to give you her take on it. I've got several spouses that, and we've actually had a couple of people on the show where we've got 2 directors that are married at different cities.
Oh wow.
It's just
Yeah,
nonstop Parks and Rec
well,
discussion.
good luck.
Yeah. So when did you go back for your master's degree?
I went immediately after undergrad. So that
Uh,
that period where my daughter was born, we graduated in May. She was born that June. There was
mm,
there was a period right before she was born where my coach, our season ended in March, and he brought me into his office and said, "Hey, a couple scouts are interested in you overseas. Like, so, what do you want to do?" And I said, "Well, coach, my daughter being born, I just don't want to be apart from her. I wasn't raised like that, and there's no knock to anybody who, if that's what they had to do for their family, Godspeed to them. I just know for me, I wouldn't have been able to do that. Just being
mm,
honest with you, and so I just declined. I said, Coach, I can't go. I have a
mm.
responsibility to keep, with my daughter coming into this world, and I want to be here for her. He said, that's the smartest thing I've ever heard you say in 4 years.
Yeah.
So he was like, I will I'll pay for your grad school. Come on back, be a grad assistant. So that was interesting, because now I got to be able to take those captain duties and actually put it into a grad assistant role along with doing coaching responsibilities. Yeah, I had to film games, film practices, do things with the trainer. We had to push paperwork. I mean, there was a lot we had to do. Check on players, with their class schedules. So that kind of got me into, just the sports realm.
Mhm. Now, as an industry, where do you see the gaps are, where we can improve on as an industry?
Well, I think, at the end of the day, it's just having this open communication platforms like this. Companies, basically seeing, hey, let's kind of dissect what Parks and Recreation can actually do for us, and then
Mhm.
just partnerships. At the end of the day, what you alluded to, at the beginning, us talking about, e-gaming, that world is growing, along with AI and just technology in general. So us as Parks and Rec professionals, we need to start partnering with, a lot of those platforms that are offering these things to maybe gain the kids back that we feel that we've lost. I mean, I have, a 14-year-old myself, and she's into a lot of things. So we have to be in tune with what they have going on and what they're into.
Yeah. Anything we can do better to engage that group? Because it seems like right after grade school, when they get into high school, and we just kinda lose that population in Parks and Rec. What can we do to try to keep engaging with them?
Once again, it just goes back to community partnerships, and what works for one community may not work for another community. So it's just having that conversation, and it's a tough conversation, it is, but they need something to do. They need avenues, they need platforms, they need workshops, they need programs in place for that where they can go. And it takes not only just the Parks and Recreation professionals, but it takes community as a whole coming together to say, hey, look, whether it's 2 kids in this or 25 kids, we have a charge to keep, which is servicing the community, quality of life. How do we make it better? And quality of life always needs to be the priority, especially in this field, because it can always improve.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and I know that's a rough generation, but then you kinda get them back. What age do you think they really come back into Parks and Rec? In their 20s or after college? Surely by the time they're adults.
Well, I would say you lose them around the 13, 14 age range, and depending on if you are allowing them to become a part of your department, like as far as making money in your department around 15, 16, you might find some there. But they come back around 18, 19 when you have adult leagues going on for them. Especially if you have consistent adult leagues, whether it's adult basketball, softball, flag football, whatever the case may be, they come back and then they start gravitating towards actually looking for jobs.
Mm.
um, in around that age. So I think if we work on the aspect of the 14 to maybe about 16, 17, creating avenues for them, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, yeah. Now how active have you been in the association, state or national?
State, I am very much so active. I've chaired several committees. I'm a member of a lot of committees. GRPA is a wonderful association, so
Yeah. Are you going to, Jekyll Island this year?
I will be there. I will be
Alright.
there.
Well, I'll have to get you to
Really.
come on back onto the show. I've got like 30, 40 slots to fill, just like a 15, 20-minute interview about how the convention's going and stuff. Are you speaking at all, or what are you doing for this year?
I will be speaking, not as a traditional speaker, but I will be speaking to different groups that ask me to come just talk with their department. I like to be very low key in that aspect,
Yeah.
because they have specific items that they just want me to talk to with their agency about, which is fine. But yeah, I will pop up, and me in the flesh is kind of different than cross the screen. But we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
Um, the executive team is wonderful, and they put together a great spread for us down in Jekyll. So I think it'll be great.
Yeah, I can't wait. I've never been to Jekyll Island. It's kind of a monumental place for us. I don't know if you know that's where the Federal Reserve and the IRS got built over there long ago, and so I wanna do a Bitcoin show from there because that's one of my other podcasts that I still kinda
Yes,
run.
yes,
Um,
yes.
Now what, maybe you can give, why these associations, especially at the state level, are so important to the career of Parks and Rec.
Well, I would say they once again, let's go back to the word essential. You never know who you're gonna meet, for one. For two, you never know what could come from that meeting. And anybody, regardless of your position, you can learn a lot, not only on your district level, your region level, but definitely the state level. You get to see a lot of different things, and you get to see similar counties that are in population and see how they run. So if there's something that hasn't been working in your county, you might get an idea from a similar county in population and say, we never tried that. Hey,
Mhm.
now you're networking. And it's the same thing, because I do it a lot. There have been times where I have been asked to come different places outside of the state to say, hey, look, just come up and just meet with us, or we can hop on a Zoom call. So let's pick your brain with some things, because like again, vice versa, there may be some things that work in a smaller county that might just work in a big city, and
Mhm.
vice versa. So the NRPA is important. I think every state association is important, but also the national association is important as well. Only because, once again, what works in Chicago might actually work in McDuffie County. What
Right,
work what works in South Florida might actually work in California.
right.
So it's things like that. It's just the networking possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
in this profession.
Yeah, hats off to NRPA. They did a great job in Orlando. Were you able to make that one?
I was not able to go once again. What works in a big county? No, I just we had a lot going on here in McDuffie County, so a lot of times you have to just pick and choose where you can and can't go, and try to work with your commissioners on a lot of things. And we had a lot of things going on at that time, so I just was not able to make it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what I'd like you to do is one of the things we do kind of towards the end of the show, I'll play a quick promo. Now, both of these videos, we made them as a gift to the entire industry. So you're welcome to use them. They're on our YouTube channel. And the reason we created them is because we saw a decline, and maybe you can speak on that, a decline in awareness around this industry as a career path. And a lot of the colleges are starting to no longer offer Parks and Rec degrees and stuff. So I'll play this promo real quick, and then you can give your testimony as to why you should consider Parks and Rec as a career path.
Okay.
Every career is a choice, but few careers let you touch lives. Not once in a while, but every single day. Step into a park on a Saturday morning. You'll hear children laughing on the soccer field, families gathering for a picnic, seniors walking the trails, finding health and friendship. And behind every smile, every memory, is a Parks and Rec professional. We don't just mow fields, we grow confidence in young athletes. We don't just build playgrounds, we create safe spaces where childhood thrives. We don't just plan events, we design moments that anchor generations. Think of the coach who teaches patience, the director who champions equity, the staff member who sees potential in a child no one else believed in. Every day, Parks and Rec professionals shape character, preserve beauty, and strengthen community. And the path isn't easy. Budgets are tight, resources stretched thin, but the reward, unmatched. Because what you give comes back in legacy, in healthier communities, in lives forever changed. So why dedicate your life to Parks and Recreation? Because here, your work never ends. It lives on, in laughter echoing across playgrounds, in green spaces preserved for the next century, in the young professionals rising to lead tomorrow. This is not just a career, it's a calling, it's a legacy, it's Parks and Recreation. A message from the Parks and Rec community.
All right, so I'd love to get your thoughts around that one.
Oh man, it got me so teary-eyed. But in all seriousness, one statement that was made in that video, laughter across the playground. A child's laughter on a playground, if you just tune out everything else and just hear that, it's like a beautiful symphony. Like it's music. It's like God's voice, just pouring into your soul, and that's what Parks and Recreation is, and that's what we do as professionals. We create experiences for those that come into our area. And it's the impact that you have, that young student athlete that's receiving a Division I scholarship regardless of the sport. Where did he start what coaches impacted that young man's life to keep going? um that senior who just comes out here that you see while you're scanning your grounds, that come out here every morning. I just love how the sun hits off this bench, so I want to sit right here on this bench and watch the sun come up. Those things that you can't put a price tag on that. And we don't most of us don't we don't do it for the money. It's the impact, it's the lives that we see that are growing, the smiling faces that we see, those kids that have somewhere to go, that they feel safe. I can go on and on, but it's that impact, that quality of life that I can always go back to, that's steadily improving.
Yeah. Man, Chris, you can copy that one. I mean, Chris is one of our video editors that watches this one. I was like, we need to make like a montage of people giving their testimony. That was such a powerful one. Thank you so much for that,
I
Trevor.
appreciate you. No problem.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the last traditions we have is our previous guest, Stephen DeFalco over in Palos Park, Illinois, left you a question, and
Okay.
then you'll have to leave a question for my next guest. But the question, he said, if you had to do it all over again, what profession would you have started in, knowing what you know now?
Wow, you hit this one. I more than likely probably would have ended up in Parks and Recreation again. Obviously, you have the what ifs. And I'm Parks and Recreation professionals. We stretch across a lot of areas, so I more than likely would have ended up in or around this field. You know, just being honest, I probably would have ended up around this
Yeah.
field.
Now, where do you see yourself, 10, 20 years from now, still in this field, or where do you want to go from here?
I do still see myself in this field, if not in county or city administration.
Mhm.
Um, Hopefully, I'm not. I don't have more gray hairs than I already have now. Um,
Yeah.
but I would like to stay around this profession or in city county administration. That's really where I can see myself,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Um,
or in a professional franchise, because I am getting some calls now on just coming to publicly speak, to a lot of those franchises in schools. So
yeah. Yeah, you would be very good at that. I think you have a great story to tell, and you're really good at telling it. Just keep going, man. You're doing fantastic.
I appreciate you. Blessed.
What question would you like to leave for my next guest?
Let's see. And it could be any question off the wall, anything.
Yeah, we've had one is like, if you were a piece of playground equipment, what would it be and why? They were kind of fun, and then we've had some serious ones that really make you think deeply. So it's
Right.
blank canvas.
Gotcha. Okay. If you had to build your perfect park, what three items would you put in that park?
Oh, I love that. What is your answer to that one?
Let's see. And I'm gonna take obviously I'm not gonna put people in there because they're gonna come to this park. So I don't want to use those as
Uh-huh.
a amphitheater, um, splash pad for the kids, and an area for food trucks.
Mm. Now, why the amphitheater?
Because you can do so much with that. That's bringing people together. I am huge on that. Concerts,
Yeah.
festivals, and whatnot. And I didn't say restrooms, but obviously we're gonna say that. Hey,
Right.
restrooms need to be involved in there.
Yeah. Now I know food trucks is taking a big role now in just bringing great food rather than just the concession stand with high hamburgers and hot dogs. What do you think about that industry coming in? It seems like Parks and Rec is really embracing that.
Absolutely. And we took over our concessions when I got in about 5 years ago now.
Mhm.
And I would say this year I've worked with more food truck vendors to kind of ease my concession workers and kind of give them some breaks as well.
Mhm.
Give the community some different food items and just allow some local businesses, to come in and sell their products as well. So,
Yeah.
that industry it is growing, and I look to work with a whole lot more in the
Yeah.
upcoming years.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, there was some movie where a father and a son decided to get in a food truck and travel the world and stuff, and they did it all on, I don't know what movie that was, but it was really, really cool. And you see a lot of people coming from New Orleans. You see food
Yep.
trucks in every corner. There's food trucks, and I
Yep.
love them.
I can't remember what the actor's name is, but he was Happy in Iron Man, and
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
yeah, I love that movie. Love that movie because I am a foodie. I am a
Me
foodie.
too. Well, man, if you ever make it down to New Orleans by any chance?
I did. My wife and I we went 2.5 years ago for her teammate's wedding, and it was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, well, if you ever find yourself down here again, look me up. I'd be glad to host you.
Absolutely. Hey, just send me an invite. Send me an invite, and we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it work. Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Well, Trevor, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Really appreciate your story, and I look forward to having you back on the show. at Jekyll Island, but then maybe we can do another series around leadership, because I think you got a great story to tell.
Absolutely. I'm blessed to be here, and thank you, Craig, for having me.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Have a great rest of your week.
All right, you too.
Yeah, take care.
All right, bye.
All right, man, that was an awesome one, Chris. You got some good clips there that you can use to really bring home Parks and Rec, bring it into the open. Trevor did a great job, and really glad to see that's the quality of people that are in charge of our park systems. They're just doing great work, and definitely an essential service. Okay, so we got a lot coming up this week. We will be putting a pause in most of November for doing these type of shows and my regular phone calls, because we will be attending the Georgia Parks and Rec Association. We'll be attending Kentucky Parks and Rec Association second week, and then Louisiana. So we got 3 back-to-back. But don't worry, we'll be doing probably about 30 live shows. So just in those 3 weeks, we'll record 90 shows live from the convention. If you are running a Parks and Rec Association convention for your state, and you'd like to have the Daily Parks and Rec Show, please reach out to me or Sherry on LinkedIn. We'd love to get you plugged in. Obviously, we can't make every one of them, but we're trying to build out our capacity so that we'll have another crew, another speaker, and that kind of stuff, so we can really highlight the important work that goes on at the state level in these associations. All right, so that's all I have for y'all today. We've got a great lineup, a full week of shows this week, and we've also got a lot of new shows that we're launching. As I said before, we should be launching Smart Cities with Outdoor Link. We'll be launching a software in Parks and Rec, because software is such a big efficiency gain in helping you to stretch your dollars and do more with less. And then we are still working diligently to get that esports. It's going to be like a league, going to be on Saturdays. So we're still working on those 3 shows. Those are probably going to be our next 3 that are going to be coming up here soon. So appreciate all the love and support we're getting from that. Thank you so much for our strategic partners for helping us financially to be able to create these shows, as we need to hire on more editors and more speakers and more equipment and all that kind of stuff. But we'll keep working. Really just finished up our year 1. I kind of started this in Atlanta. It ran all the way, the Atlanta NRPA convention, all the way to Orlando. But I can't wait to see what we do between Orlando and Philly. Hopefully a lot of you will be going to Philly. We're going to be there as well. And hopefully we can catch y'all there. But if not, we promise to keep producing content for this industry and building out this media company to help raise awareness around the great work that's being done in Parks and Rec. It's Craig LeBlanc signing off again with another episode of Leadership Series in the Daily Parks and Rec Show, produced by DPRS Media Company. Love you guys. See y'all again tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.
At DPRS Media Co., we believe Parks and Recreation isn't just a service, it's the heartbeat of our communities. We exist to honor the people, the vendors, and the leaders shaping the future of Parks and Rec. Our mission is simple: to tell their stories, highlight their careers, and celebrate their essential work. Our vision is bold: to be the trusted hub where leaders, vendors, and communities unite, inspiring innovation, sharing wisdom, and building a stronger, healthier nation. Through over 220 live shows and 6 weekly series, the Leadership Series, Facility Maintenance, Young Professionals Network, Youth Sports Mastery, The Rec Room, and Growing Leaders, plus our industry-leading newsletter, the weekly Parks and Rec Post, we're building a media platform made for the Parks and Rec community. And now, we're inviting strategic partners to co-create this story with us. As a partner, you'll gain 12 hours of annual live exposure with custom shows highlighting your expertise, polished 60-second promos refined for maximum impact, year-round visibility with dozens of replays across our media network, premium features in our newsletter, and amplified social media reach across LinkedIn, X, and Facebook. This is your chance to educate, inspire, and lead while connecting directly with the professionals who build, budget, and buy for their communities. This is DPRS Media Co. Let's build the future of Parks and Rec together.